I wanted to bring the worst thing I ever wrote, which is a story in high school that was called A Girl Named Lightbulb. Because I have a file called Bad Writing and then Really Bad Writing, but I forgot to get it before I came. So I'm going to read, I guess, a pretty bad gambling story. And I'm sorry if you've already heard it. It's called Fakey. Rumor is Dostoevsky wrote his novella The Gambler as a way to get money to pay off a huge gambling debt. I believe it. Only a true gambler could write the kind of roulette scenes he did, a perfect mixture of blind hope and insanity. The grandmother can't stop plunking rubles down on zero after just winning on that very number. Zero, zero, zero. She won't stop saying it. I was terrified to turn the page. Every winning streak has to come to an end eventually. Gamblers need money, and I was never one of those people that showed up at the casino with stacks of perfectly pressed $100 bills in their pockets and a whole family lineage of getting more. I'm so fucking broke. That's what I told myself about why I needed to go to the casino each day. I needed money to cover the losses of the day before, or I needed to save for retirement, or get a down payment for a house, or pay off my credit card debt, or get a chunk of money so I could quit my job for a while and just be a writer. I loved to merge trips to the casino with ideas that they were somehow about my research of being a writer. I could have written 9 Russian novels in the time I spent in casinos. Once I told myself I could go gambling if I wrote a short story first. I've only ever written 2 short stories in my life. I'll just sit here and write for 3 hours, and then I'll have earned a trip to the casino. In a matter of 5 minutes, I was driving there saying I was still going to write the story. I would just do it in the cocktail lounge. It would be a great story about gambling. Then I realized I brought no pen or paper, so I said, that's okay, I'll write it on cocktail napkins. And then, of course, when I got to the casino, I raced past the cocktail lounge and sat down at the nearest slot machine and started gambling. I told myself it would be easier for me to write the story after I'd won some money, because then my mind would be clear. I wouldn't be antsy about gambling. I'd have won the money I needed to fund my writing career, and then I could relax and write like Dostoevsky did. My other favorite thing I loved to tell myself was that if I was going to accurately write any story about gambling, then I needed to do research. I needed to get into character. The mind is such a terrible and grim merry-go-round. Sometimes my friend Sammy came with me to the casino because I knew she'd help me keep things reined in, but I'd still be able to gamble in a way I wanted. She was one of the people I didn't mind seeing me at my worst. We'd been through a lot together. In my early 20s, we'd been girlfriends, but I cheated on her. After the breakup, we were quintessential lesbians, still doing everything together every day and keeping all our same patterns as we tried to be friends. Sammy was going to school for massage, and she had to buy a shit ton of expensive medical books with beautiful clear pages that have maps of the body. You know the books where each page you turn lifts away one layer of body, first veins, then muscle, then bones. In a few seconds, you've made the entire body disappear. Gambling is like that too. You pull the handle a few times on a slot machine and everything starts dissolving. Your money problems, your cheating wife, all the fears you carry around with you every day now wander away slowly like dying ants. In less than 20 minutes, all of your life's worries have morphed into a single problem inside the casino. You just need to find a way to line up 5 goats dressed up as surgeons in 53 different directions. If you can solve this simple problem, you will be a very rich person. Sammy was thin in that way people with fast metabolisms are, all ribs and clavicles, always starving. I promised to take us to the buffet and win money for her Reiki school books if she'd accompany me to the casino. Sammy's father had gambled away every single paycheck of her childhood, yet still I asked her to come with me. I don't know, girl, she'd say. But as much as Sammy didn't want to see me lose money, it was overshadowed by her desire for easy money. And the next thing that was happening was we were on the road to the casino. I feel lucky, I'd say, before the start of each trip, but sometimes the intonation would change. I feel lucky, like a runaway wife with a black eye on a Greyhound bus, or like when someone says to a hostage, "It's your lucky day," and the hostage is given the choice to have his fingers cut off with either pliers or a hatchet. Nice. That kind of luck. Or I feel real lucky. my voice laden with disgust, heavy with the memory of what happened at the casino yesterday. And then 4 or 6 or 8 hours have gone by, and we'd have drank 1,000,000 sodas, or Sammy would get Baileys, and I'd have lost all my money for the buffet, or even money for the sad hot dog or cookie you get at the stand right outside the casino doors from the vendor who sold sad snacks to destitute people waiting for the bus to take them far away from this demon place they loved so much. The few times I kept my promise about taking us to the buffet, I'd eat as fast as possible so we could get on to more gambling. And sometimes I would stop for a second in the smoking section if I was getting a feeling from a slot machine, even though Sammy was terribly allergic to cigarette smoke. She'd be sniffling next to me and I'd ask, "Are you getting a feeling from any of them?" We were low blood sugar idiots in sweatsuits trying to get the winning slot machine to whisper to us. Sammy refused to ever pick a slot machine. She didn't want to be responsible if it didn't end up a winner. But you can't let a gambler walk in circles for too long inside a casino without them getting antsy and finally saying, feeling or not, this one. I just wanted to sit down and start shoving money into something compulsively. "Are you sure, girl?" Sammy would say after I chose one, but I rarely got a feeling about a slot machine. Sammy would sit down next to me but not play. "Start slow, girl. Start slow," she'd say, sniffling. We called each other girl even though we both looked like men. I'd feed the first $20 bill into the slot machine, and if I got on a roll, I'd give Sammy money to put into hers, but she never had the terrible misfortune of winning. "I don't want to lose your money," she'd say. "What's the difference who loses the $20? Just as long as one of us hurries up and loses it," I'd say, pushing in another 20. After a certain point, it stops being about the money. You're just looking to tear off your skin in a dark, smoky place and push a button, hoping to line up 53 goats dressed as surgeons. Compulsive gambling can be quite sci-fi. Winning is the worst thing that can happen to a gambler. Then you believe the lie that money just comes out of machines if you push the right buttons. I could lose $2,000 in a few hours. $2,000, and we were waitresses, so that's like $3 million. "We're going to have a limit, okay? We're going to start slow," Sammy would say. That's why she'd come with me, because when she didn't, I'd return from the casino even more beaten, trying to find something in my closet I could sell to a second-hand store in order to pay an electric bill. When I started winning, my brain actually believed I was doing things in some kind of right order that was making this streak possible. And then I would want to win more. I would start doing stupid things, doubling down, increasing my bets. It all ended the same way, with us walking out of the casino, my throat dry from chain smoking, and not even having $1 to buy a soda. I only ever had dimes in my pocket when I left a casino, because there are no dime slot machines, and I hadn't fallen so far yet that I'd go to the cashier and ask them to break a dime into 2 nickels. We went to the casino a lot the year Sammy was in massage school. We needed to try and help pay the expensive tuition. One day I was losing fast and early and could feel all my promises about buying Reiki school books go out the window, or giving her half, or whatever it was I'd promised I'd do but never did. I had gotten a feeling early from a slot machine called Ice Age, where the object is to have a seal slide down the ice a certain distance and activate another seal to pop out of an ice fishing hole with money fish in his mouth. When the money fish seal pops out of the hole, it giggles like a teenage girl. If the seals slide too far, they disappear right off the side of the video screen, giving a sad little hand wave goodbye. And sometimes they don't slide far enough, never reaching the ice hole. When this happens, they push themselves up with their dejected little seal shoulders and crawl back off the screen. I tried with all my might to control the length of each seal's slide with my mind so it could activate the other seal to pop out of the ice hole with money fish squirming in his mouth. The seal in the ice hole tosses the money fish into the air. Your level of luckiness determines how many money fish he tosses your way, and the fish flip and squirm in the air with each of their cash values emblazoned in their sides. So far, the only seals we'd been lucky enough to get to pop out of our ice hole had been depressed and unmotivated, flipping malnourished, low monetary fish to us as offerings. At this rate, we were never going to get enough money for me to be a writer or for Sammy to stay in massage school. Then I remembered how once when I threw my back out, someone's friend came over and did fakie on me. Fakie is like Reiki, but is done by people who have never gone to school and know nothing about energy work. I was sprawled on the floor of my bedroom, and this stranger hovered her hands over my throbbing back, never touching me. It didn't help at all. But it was one of the nicest moments in my entire life to have a stranger be there like that when I was in excruciating pain, like having a witness or a god. I didn't want Sammy to do fakie on the slot machine. I wanted her to try the real thing, Reiki. She'd taken a few classes, and it was the only tactic we hadn't tried so far to help us. Come on, Sammy, what could it hurt? If she could hover her hands the right way on the slot machine, then maybe the seals would pop out of the ice hole, like the story of the loaves of bread and fish in the Bible, a constant replenishing basket of money fish. Reiki couldn't be that different than talking to God in a casino. I'd already knew how to do that. I'd say, I'm a good person, God. Come on, God. One more big money seal. I was a good person. That's why I wrote a bad check to get the money to gamble with. I could see the fear in Sammy's face for doing anything wrong with the Reiki that would somehow prevent the seals from popping out of their money ice hole. Please, I pleaded. Reluctantly, she stood up from her stool and moved to my left side, placing one hand on my shoulder and the other on top of the slot machine. I kept pushing the spin button, and she stood quietly with her eyes cast down, but not all the way closed, like she was meditating. If God is here, come help us, I thought. Spin, spin, spin. My credits dwindled as the seals went about their day on the video screen, their bellies now full, with no need to stop at the ice hole and pull out any fish. Maybe Reiki needed time to warm up. It was energy work, right? Should I keep playing, I asked Sammy. She nodded quietly and sniffled. I tried to center myself and imagine her and me and God walking down the street, our energy elbows linked. I took a deep breath, and when I exhaled, I felt the weight of Sammy's tiny hand on my shoulder, light like a bird foot. I knew her hand was acting as an energy conduit, but I couldn't help but think it felt like a foreshadowed consolation. I concentrated hard and pushed the spin button again. The seals had become like strangers in the subway, passing me with their dead eyes. They had things to do, places to go. I'd get them. I'd push the button as angrily as I could and watch them fall down the wrong ice chutes. That's right, fuck you, I said, each time they went down the wrong chute, encouraging them to betray me until each and every credit in the slot machine was gone. I pushed the spin button one more time to double check that I was broke. Sammy's eyes were open now, and she stared at the video screen. Her face had the bereft expression of a TV surgeon after their patient dies on the table, despite their repeated valiant attempts. Sorry, girl, Sammy said, removing her little bird foot from my shoulder. I just remembered Reiki only works on things that are alive. It's okay, girl, I said. Thanks for trying. We left the casino, passing the man at the entrance selling hot dogs and cookies. The good thing about losing all your money is you feel so sick about it afterwards, you're not even hungry. That's it. Thank you.